各位觀眾大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄精華回顧。本國嘅皇家騎警咧，至今已經有超過150年嘅歷史，而女性喺其中亦都發揮住不可或缺嘅作用。早喺1974年首批正式宣誓加入皇家騎警嘅女性，成為咗編號第17分隊嘅成員。去年正值係呢一支隊伍成立50週年之際，我哋嘅節目就曾經帶大家回顧佢哋走過半世紀嘅足跡，見證佢哋喺唔同崗位上嘅貢獻同埋堅持。今日我哋就再次重溫呢一段感人嘅歷程，走入佢哋嘅世界。
It is Troop 17's legacy that you are all women and the force in general, and the hat is definitely passing on the legacy to you, and I'm thankful for that. So, thank you.
Very honored, and thank you for everything.
Thank you. Well.
Donna Moss 出生於1953年，係首批加入皇家騎警嘅女性成員之一。而佢從細就生活喺亞省卡加利一個充滿警察氣息嘅家庭。
Well, my father was a Calgary Police Service employee and a police officer. So he'd been a police officer my whole, growing up, and I just saw the good and the opportunities that he had. And it was something that interested me. And again, it was something that, as a female, outside of the norm. And I was interested. My dad would tell me stories of things that he encountered as a police officer. And I thought, why not? If I have an opportunity, let's take it. And I knew that it could change my life, and it did.
喺1974年，當得知到皇家騎警開始招收女性成員嘅時候 ，Donna 毫不猶豫咁遞交咗申請。同年9月，佢同嚟自全國各地嘅另外31名女性一齊前往沙省嘅尼塞納，成為第17分隊嘅成員，並且展開咗集訓。而集訓對於 Donna 嚟講係一段艱難而且充滿考驗嘅經歷。
I had bought proper runners, but when we got to depot, we all had to wear exactly the same, and the footwear they presented for running was just little white canvas runners. And I ended up getting very bad shin splints within a month of me being there that actually it ripped away the tendon and the muscle ripped away from my bone, and I couldn't walk. So it was very impactful. But again, I didn't know, because I didn't know, what is the force going to do if I can't complete the physical portion that was so important. But when I was out of the hospital and able to come back, the amount of effort that my instructors gave me and the assistance, I came back absolutely no issue and was able to achieve all of the physical requirements for me to graduate. So, yeah, it was scary. All of a sudden I'm in a hospital in some place, and it's quite early on in training, but I was able to do what I needed to do. So.
1975年3月順利完成集訓嘅 Donna 被派往卑斯省溫哥華島嘅 Port Alberni 正式展開佢嘅職業生涯。但係喺嗰個年代，大家都從來冇見過女性騎警，因此 Donna 經常都會面對嚟自各方嘅挑戰。
I remember one that was very standoffish said he didn't want to work with a female, and all I said, well, that's fine. I said, we have to work together. We don't have to be friends, but, at the end of the day, and I think, how you responded to that, he did nothing. He just expressed his opinion. And I felt that it was right for me to express my opinion back, and we were fine. We worked. together, but I would stop a police car on a street in Port, and if there was a crosswalk or people walking in front, they would literally stop in front of the police car and point to me. We were a novelty more than anything, and I know there were complainants or people that needed assistance that I would go with there, and people wouldn't talk to me. I was a woman. What do I know? They wanted a male member. The relatively well-known criminals, they liked to test me all the time. So I had a lot of challenges. I would have them follow me when I was in the police car. I would have them sit outside. These are the known criminals of the town. Sit outside where I lived. They would try, there was a couple of families that would try to do anything to see the worst of me or the worst of a police officer, or try and get the female member to do something that she shouldn't be doing.
Donna 表示，隨住時間過去，佢同同事建立咗互相尊重同團結嘅氣氛。咁而警隊之中對女性嘅偏見同埋歧視，亦都逐漸有所改善。
I worked hard, and I worked alongside the men. I didn't say I couldn't do something. I may ask for help, and that's one thing over my career. I remember talking to a lot of the female recruits coming out. Always ask for help. You don't come out knowing, out of training, knowing everything. And I think you get more respect from your coworkers by asking for help. Like, I don't quite understand this. Can you help me out with this? And I did it. And there were points that, yes, the majority of people, I think they appreciated that. And, the gender bias kind of thing, it helped. Like, I would go to one of the men. It didn't make me any less knowledgeable or weaker or anything. It's just, I don't understand. And then in reverse, the men would end up, my male counterparts, they would end up wanting me to deal with the female victim of a rape or a sexual assault or, any violence. And towards the end of my career, I would always laugh at them. Come on, you guys have to deal with this. Don't come to me. But I'd always be there to help them out. So it kind of went both ways.
而喺 Port Alberni，Donna 遇到咗自己當時未來嘅丈夫，成為咗皇家騎警歷史上第一對結婚嘅成員。
There was no policy in reference to two Mounties being married because we were the first. So, the force, when we announced our engagement, they responded very, very quickly. And the policy of the time was the Mounties had to live within your jurisdiction that you were policing. Well, they didn't want my husband and I to work together, and neither one of us wanted to work together anyway. So ultimately, they sent me to Richmond Detachment and my husband to Unit A Freeway Patrol, which their office was in the Richmond was a municipality then in the municipality. So they were able to adhere to force policy at the time by bringing us to Richmond. So I served at Richmond Detachment. So.
1995年9月，Donna 從皇家騎警退役，結束咗21年嘅女警生涯。多年之後，適逢女性加入皇家騎警50週年紀念，Donna 仍要嚟到列治文警局，再次踏入警局嘅大門。咁睇到警隊內來來往往嘅女警身影，令佢倍感驕傲。
It was iconic in its own. Then I think it was 1985. 85? No, I think it was 14 years after the force changed to the surge for all members, which
women and members
I
to the same.
think it was the right thing to do. You know, in a parade environment, it was very obvious, you know, and I think, you know, you want to, in the musical ride, of course, you want everybody to look the same. So, but the last time I wore this uniform was in 2017. Yes, I could get into my original uniform, not anymore, but I wore it as I was a guest at Depot for a graduating class. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was very good for the previous OIC to acquire as many as old pieces of uniform to show the historical thing for the member of the detachment to actually see. It's I have to say, this one, I think one of the female members was very thankful to get rid of it. Especially, she called it the turtleneck at the time. I didn't know it was a blouse.
It is a blouse, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see that we've gone to where we are today. A lot of changes to make it look like we're all looking sharp.
Totally. And, you know, I look and I think it's good to show the history of the force because the force has so much history. And it is important that all that history is retained. So showing this, I know I just came back from Ottawa and there was a female member for the Legacy Ball that was wearing her original uniform and so many members had not seen it. Yeah. They had no idea what the uniform was. Well, it's important. It's important to show that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's important that all the new generation, the new people coming up, know the changes that has been made.
Yes.
Know that it was the hard work of some of you. Like, this was a hard work. First female troop, having to have the hard conversation with all male.
從法醫實驗室到音樂馬術，從航空服務到保護貴賓，皇家騎警嘅150個職務類別之中都唔少得女性嘅身影。稍翻嚟，我哋就將會一齊了解現役女騎警嘅故事。歡迎翻嚟節目時間。目前皇家騎警之中大約有1/5嘅警官係女性，並且有越嚟越多嘅女性出任領導層嘅工作。咁佢哋係懷住點樣嘅初衷同抱負加入警隊嘅啦？我哋一齊去了解一下。
So I'm Corporal Adriana O'Malley. I'm the Media Relations Officer for Richmond RCMP, and I've been with the RCMP since July of 2005.
從事女警多年嘅 Adriana O'Malley， 眼前呢一部警車對佢嚟講再熟悉不過啦。
So this is our standard patrol frontline responding police vehicle. So this is what an officer who is responding to 911 calls or the non-emergency line will come and get in their vehicle on a daily basis. So what you see here is called our duty bag. So this has a number of things in there. As police, we have to do a lot of paperwork. We have a number of different, legislation that we follow to do with like the criminal code. So we will have things in this bag that help us assist in doing our job throughout the day. You'll also see we have a computer in our car. This allows us to see maps of the city. It allows us to read information about a call that we're responding to. We can conduct queries on it. Essentially, as a police officer, the more information we have prior going to the call, it can help us with our risk assessment and ensuring that we're responding with the appropriate and helps us ensure that we're responding with the appropriate number of resources. So you'll see we have a variety of items in our duty bag. We've got, this is for Motor Vehicle Act tickets. It just helps make it easier if we're writing one. We have safety equipment such as our vest. So if we're out at a traffic incident, it's important that we wear this so that we are visible to the public. I've also got my cold weather cap in here. So this would be something that in the winter, if I was out responding to a call, and it was cold, I would put this on. You know, we need a lot of equipment in order to do our job, and so this duty bag helps us bring it into the car with us.
如今嘅皇家騎警隊伍之中，好似 Adriana 咁樣嘅女警就已經唔再罕見。咁而列治文皇家騎警高級警員 Melissa Lui 就係其中一員。佢表示自己從細就喺安省長大，好少有機會能夠接觸到皇家騎警。
我嘅印象，皇家騎警就係着嗰個我哋叫red serge uniform， 即係紅色嗰套制服同埋嗰個 Stetson 嗰頂帽，係真係好對我嚟講係好遙遠嘅一個即係可以即係唔係好容易接觸到，同埋係好特別嘅，好 prestigious 嘅。去到大學咁，其實有人咧問嗰陣時對皇家騎警都冇印象嘅。咁有個朋友就問：喂，你有冇諗住考皇家騎警啊？咁真係冇，完全係冇嘅。咁我話 RCMP 係咩嚟嘅？咁去開始去 research 啦，去查下啦。咁又 OK， 咁可以去試下喎，因為都覺得即係好似好遙遠，即係但係又可能會做得到喎，即係可能會覺得咦好有型喎，咁即係着到嗰個紅色嘅制服，咁就去投考啦，咁又好彩俾人即係收納咗我。
懷住對紅色制服嘅嚮往 ，Melissa 順利入職皇家騎警，並且嚟到利在拿參加為期6個月嘅新人訓練營。順利從新人訓練營畢業之後 ，Melissa 被分配到列治文皇家騎警工作。而喺當時，佢係警隊內唯一一個同時精通國語同粵語嘅警員。佢成為咗同時處理涉及華人案件嘅翻譯人員，亦都令佢接觸到更多嘅案件，累積咗豐富嘅經驗。
我想講就係即係譬如有好多女性受害者啊，或者就算女性嘅犯人啊，我諗同見到一個女士亞裔嘅識講同一個語言，可能嘅親切感會好好多咯。即係我都記得有即係 Richmond 嚟講，我哋亞裔女士係比較多，同埋好大部分都唔識講英文嘅，所以有時佢見到我同我傾偈，會覺得即係鬆一口氣，因為我識聽，我識講，同佢哋可以完全溝通到咯。所以呢樣都係一個即係即係對我嚟講係有成就感咯。
而即使面對職業生涯之中嘅危險任務，好似應對林火區域嘅執勤工作 ，Melissa 總係能夠應對自如，保持積極嘅心態。
2021年嘅山火嗰陣時咧，暑假有好多山火嘅，咁我就派咗去Vernon 係 BC， 即係 Kelowna 附近啦。咁嗰度做咗1個禮拜嘅 deployment。咁我覺得我係安省嚟㗎嘛，所以我好少機會會話去 explore 即係其他嘅 BC 嘅城市啦。咁覺得嗰個係俾咗我一個機會去體驗唔同地方嘅點樣去 police 個 community 啊，點樣去同其他人相處啊。咁我又可以去一啲冇咁繁榮嘅城市去體驗下，去吸收經驗。咁所以呢個係一個好難忘。我記得可以即係我係返夜更嘅嗰陣時，咁因為山火嗰陣時係封閉咗，冇人喺度住，咁我哋係維持秩序，係 make sure 嗰啲住即係喺入邊住嗰啲人唔會返嚟嘅，因為仲好危險啊，或者即係唔好俾人爆竊啊，即係都係維持秩序嘅。咁我守夜更，咁好多時候都係即係都係巡邏啦。巡邏之餘，咁 Vernon 係一個好平靜嘅地方，即係我哋喺 Vernon 以北嘅嗰條我哋去巡邏嗰個地區。咁我記得夜晚揸下車或者泊低喺停喺一邊，然之後望上去，哇！啲星星係非常之靚。
如今越嚟越多嘅女性加入皇家騎警隊伍，甚至進入咗管理同決策層，為推動性別平等作出貢獻。
We have many of these events to actually engage with young women. We have special teams here who actually work for the community engagement teams. We have the youth section. We continuously attend schools where we actually talk one-on-one with the young woman and everything. We also go to the university locally here. But we also have one of our programs that is called the Youth Academy. This is a program that we do for grade 11, I believe, and where we actually select. They have to go through a series of interviews. They are selected, and they spend a week looking like we train in Regina. So it's a quick little 1 week to show them what would be their life as an officer. A lot of it, we had women in there, and through these events as well, we tried to actually recruit them to become police officer or to work in the law enforcement. That it be in the RCMP, of course, we would love them to be in the RCMP, but they can be serving in any other police department or any other federal organization that is law enforcement. But we also attend cultural events throughout the communities as well, where we set up booth and we actually showcase women within our organization, either the RCMP or the detachment here, because we have a lot of women that are actually at different ranks with a lot of different background that reflects our community and what we want.
喺女性加入皇家騎警50週年之際，女警們都分享咗佢哋對於未來嘅展望以及對新一代女性嘅建議。
My hope is that we continue to be in law enforcement, especially taking more role into the leadership role. So the RCMP has done a really good work since we had Donna, who actually, since our first troops of a police officer that started with the RCMP, I believe we are now 22% of female that are actually represented in the RCMP. So this is very good. We've made good changes. There's still a lot of good work to be done, don't get me wrong, to be representative of our Canadian community. But I believe that women have always been a positive change within this organization, and I know that we will continue to do so. I think if I can bring a word of advice for all the new women that are in this organization or in any kind of public safety, I would want to make sure that they take part of the conversation, they assert themselves, that they are very, very fearless in chasing their ambitions, and they don't be afraid to take on those new duties or maybe some role in some kind of leadership that they wouldn't consider doing.
有夢想，一定要有夢想。有夢想就一定會實踐到。努力啦，努力去尋求自己點樣可以去夢想成真。好似我咁，嗰陣時 RCMP 對我嚟講係好遙遠嘅事，但係真係好似夢想成真咁有咗呢份工作。同埋失敗一定會有㗎啦。我哋點樣由失敗學習就係成功嘅之處。
Just go for it. I look at the opportunities that women or anybody in any culture has in the RCMP today, and I just go for it because every culture brings an added level of understanding to the RCMP, and we are a Canadian police force, and our country is so diverse. We need those groups to come and join. It is a great career. It is a career that you can get so much personal growth and personal satisfaction out of. And I think it doesn't matter where you've come from. You can add, every one of us adds that portion, that little different look at the force. And the force today, and because I'm involved in the Veterans Association and still involved in many ways with the force, I see the change and I see the need for diversity, and I hear they want people from different cultures. They want females. We need that to be a stronger police force. And I just embrace it and go for it and have fun.
好啦，今集嘅節目時間又差唔多啦。咁如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話，係好歡迎大家以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。我哋嘅電郵地址係mag26@fairchildtv.com。如果觀眾想上網重溫今集嘅節目，亦都可以上到去我哋嘅網站3w.fairchildtv.com， 點擊節目重溫一欄就可以睇得返㗎啦。下星期同樣時間再同大家見面，晚安。